Hey, good to see you. Come join us around the fire. It's storytelling time, and the story I have to share today is the greatest story ever told. This is the story of God, you, me, and everyone. It's about my family and your family. Each page is a different color, so you can remember the story and tell it again. The first page is green. In the beginning, God created the world and everything in it. It was so good. Do you see the green all around? That's God's creation. He even created us, boys and girls, mothers and fathers, and He created us to be in families and communities. Here's my family. We were happy. But then something began to creep in. Darkness came into the world. That darkness began to ruin our happiness. It destroyed our close relationships with God and each other. Have you ever been rejected or treated someone badly? Have you ever had family troubles? That's the darkness. Have you ever felt afraid? Scared of ghosts or spirits? That's the darkness. Have you ever felt ashamed because of something you did wrong? That's the darkness too. In my family, the darkness came one day. It crept into my son's heart. My son dishonored me and decided to leave the family. He lived in ways that brought more darkness into his life. You know, I missed my son so much, just as God misses His close relationship with us. After a while, my son's decisions led to more trouble. He ran out of money, and his friends left him all alone. He began to miss being part of a family that cared for each other. He didn't want to live in the darkness anymore. All this time, I was looking for my son. I wanted him to come home to the family. One day, I was watching for my son, and I saw him walking slowly towards me from a distance. The joy was almost too much to bear. I kicked off my shoes, and I ran to him. I ran towards my child. My child, my child, you are finally home. My son had returned to me. That day, we killed a calf to eat as a symbol of his old life being finished and a new life beginning. All this time, God had a plan to overcome the darkness, not just in my son's life, but in all the world. And so, God came to earth as a man. His name was Jesus. They called him God's Son. It was a turning point for human history. Our world may be dark sometimes, but Jesus showed us how to walk in light. He beat the darkness once and for all by going in to fight, dying on the cross and then coming out again. Alive, death and darkness could not hold Jesus down. That's why this page is red, to represent how Jesus overcame the darkness with the power of His blood. And now He welcomes us to join Him in God's family, where the darkness cannot win. Well, that day we enjoyed a huge feast with my son to celebrate being back together as a family. Though he hurt me, I chose to forgive him, and I put a new white robe on him to show that he wasn't walking in the darkness anymore. When we join God's family, it's like He places a white robe over our shoulders to show that the darkness cannot touch us any longer. Now we are all invited to be sons and daughters of God. No one is left out, and no one is rejected. The light conquered the darkness on the day Jesus conquered death. And together with Jesus, we bring light into places where there is darkness, hurt, and violence. You might notice that this page is green again. That's because God is making this world new. Green, beautiful, loving, caring, and welcoming to everyone. And like a tree or a flower, we also grow in Him. He wants to help you grow to love your family, care for those who are lonely, help the needy, and welcome people who are different from you. This is the last page of the story, and it's in the future. It's in your future. This page is gold because God's beautiful city is going to fully come one day, and it'll be an amazing, shining city, the city of God, a place of life, love, and light. Well, that's the story. It's the story of the beginning and the end and everything in between. It's the story of you and me and everyone in the world. It's the wonderful story of God's family. Do you remember each color and what it means? Green, black, red, white, green, gold. But there's one more question before we finish, and it's a question we all need to answer. God is welcoming you into His family with open arms. He's inviting you to put on the white robe and become people of the light in your school, family, and community. It's an exciting life you can share with many others who also follow God. So, what's your answer? Will you accept His invitation?